Oh, nice. I dressed up for this one. Here, let me get the video up. Bonehead. Okay, Road Atlanta. This first part's going to be a little choppy. I'm going to go through, there's two potential pit road entries and exits at Road Atlanta. So this is coming out of 10A, 10B. They call this, I'm actually in, I guess, turn 11 at this point, coming up to the bridge and then turn 12. And so as we get to the top of the bridge, I'll point out a couple things here. All right, first, there's three colored blocks under the bridge. The sign itself changes, but these don't. And so what I use to get the comfort factor going, pretty much what this BMW is doing as well, just to the outside edge of the yellow block, and as you get up and under the bridge, before you can see where you're even going, you're going to start rolling in the steering for the right-hander. It's not a lot, but it gets the car turning in that direction. And then once you crest, and now you can kind of finally see where you're going, you can make any fine corrections. The outside rumble strips, you want to use it, but there's kind of an off-camber little feel to that as well. So you don't want to go crazy because the results of going off in turn 12 are often horrendously bad. So as we come up, I know you can't see it yet, but you can enter the pits from the right-hand side or the left. The left's easier. You just kind of stay on line, kind of. Everybody else is bidding in, and you just go straight down the hill. The inside, and these are the ones we use for time trials, and I'm guessing, I don't know, that we probably use those for lemons, but we'll see. You got to move yourself over to the right-hand side to make that exit. So you can see the blend line. These yellow stripes are for that pit entry. You can see some lockup right there. Probably somebody getting off the gas too soon. Stay at speed down this hill. Otherwise, if somebody's pitting right behind you, you're going to have them up your tailpipe. And you can see on this right here, nice skid marks, huh? And then on this side, you start to see the blend line, inline developing. Okay, so there it is, and you can see the beginnings of, that's your pit entry if we're on the inside. On the outside, it's simple. Just straight down the hill. Again, keep your speed up and then slow down. Don't go off here. That would be embarrassing. And ignore this. This is part of a motorcycle track. This part here. And at turn 3, there's like 3 different tracks. You get up to the top of the hill and you go, where do I go? So I'll point that out as well. And that puts you, this will put you into the outside pits. Okay. So let's go down the hill, turn 12. This is a terrible line because I don't know what I was doing. Uh-oh. Computer may not be, there it goes. Stupid thing. So getting the outside and the inside for a good exit onto the front straightaway. And you can see what I mean, man. Most of the things I see happen is a car will drop a wheel here, especially if it's raining or if it's been wet. You can see the mud, and they'll either bounce off this wall and shoot across or drop a wheel, go sideways this way, shoot across, and then come back across the other direction. So if you want to give yourself that little bit for mom and the kids coming down the hill, so be it, because the results of going off at the bottom of this hill are horrendous. Now this track, the times I've driven it in the wet, it's not horrible, except for the bottom of the S's. And I'll show you where that is. Because it's so low, it effectively develops a river going across it if it's really raining hard. Okay, so here we go. Start, finish. Let's run a lap. Into turn 1, there's a couple points that I use, one for braking and one for turning in. And it's kind of the end of the grass and then the beginning of the grass on the left-hand side. Hopefully I don't have the car volume up too high. Okay, so you can see the end of the pit road, that's where you blend in. Catch that inside, and I almost never make it out to the outside rumble strips in turn 1. It just feels like unnecessary. There's a seam, and if you get it just right, the car kind of catches right there about 2/3, 3/4 track, and sets you up for a nice straight shot up the hill into turn 3. Let's go back and do that one again. Okay, so down the hill, ignore this crap line, this lap. Right, so I'm kind of looking. Here comes my braking zone. Right in there where it goes from grass to, here's your pit exit. So if you're coming out, if we're on the outside pit lane, you come out and you blend in right into the outside of turn 1, which seems, suicidal, but it's not that bad until you start going up the hill. So you really just want to stay to track left and work yourself back into traffic, because the faster cars, at least initially, will be over here on the apex. And I'll stop it again for the exit. Here's the inside pits. Okay, then looking kind of just before the next set of grass, start rolling it in, catch that inside apex, and then let the car kind of eat 2/3, 3/4 track. If you need it, they're out here. This is another area I've seen people go off, and there's not a lot to stop you. Yes, there's some gravel. You go off at turn 1 on the outside, you're going to hit the tire wall. Okay, inside pits coming up, and this one to me is much more challenging. Because now you're coming straight into the line of the fast cars, and this is what, you know, Petit Le Mans does it too, and you see incidents here all the time. Because if there's no one coming out of the pits, keep your eye over here. You want to be over kind of into that pit lane or pit lane exit area to set up for turn 3, which is blind right-hander. Now for this one, as I get to the top of the hill, I try to pick up the left side rumble strips, get over on those, and right as they end, to me that's a good point to turn in. And you'll see on this first lap, even maybe the second one, I'm, you know, that much late on turning, so I don't get enough of the inside rumble strips. There's regular ones, then there's more of a tabletop sausage curbs, but the car is so heavily loaded to the left-hand side that I try to actually put my wheels almost to the point where they're over the dirt. So they come left side, ending, late turn in, so I missed it, but almost over that big white tabletop. Starting the S's, I kind of just run the perimeter, and again here, this downhill right there where those end, in the Rocket it may be a little bit easier. Remember, this camera's up a lot higher than my head, so when I get here I can't see anything. So I just kind of start my turn in to get the inside apex here. We may be able to see better, but that's a good turn in for the next portion of the S's. Right at the bottom is where the river goes across. Third gear, stay in third, catch the inside, and now on exit there's normal and this outer part they call the tabletop. And it's big, wide, but very choppy rumble strips. A lot of cars use it. I don't in the Lotus because it upsets it so bad. I try to just use the regular rumble strips as kind of a cushion, as a berm to ride up against on exit. They're there if you need them. Turn 5, another place cars go off quite a bit. Long run into turn 6. Dab a brake, it's going up the hill, roll in third gear. Still kind of getting the tires warm. And now turn 7 is a sharp second gear. Get all the inside. You've got some on the outside because it sets you up for the long back straightaway. I think they call these turn 8 and 9, but they're totally irrelevant. So here's a good time to make a sandwich. You know, take a breath, check the gauges, kind of get a good look. Really high speed cars, if there are some, they catch you very quickly here. Going into 10A and B is a downhill left-right chicane. So I go fourth, the car's just wound up, remember it's downhill, straight to second, use all the rumble strips, cut those corners, man. Again, unloaded on the inside, it's almost into the dirt. Now up the hill looking for the yellow square, start turning slightly. Now I can see where I'm going, get out wide and catch that inside. In a short shift going down that hill, once you're over the crest coming down the hill, I'm in fourth gear because it really, you know, that downhill it accelerates pretty good. You have the brake, turning point. In the Rocket, as I remember, and it's been a while, going into turn 1 was a blast because you come in, you dab the brake, you're downshifting from fourth to third, and the back end would just start to step out a little bit. And you could feel it. And right as that happened, you just mat the gas and it would bite and went through that corner really good. This, I think, Road Atlanta is not horrible for a front-wheel drive car because it's not long, tight, scrubby corners like Mid-Ohio. So we can make a lot of hay through there. So I'll shut up. You have a brake, third gear, roll it in, back end steps out a little bit, then just mat it. Up the hill, not all the way out track left. Easy to the right. Trying to pick up those left side rumble strips. There they are. I think we can go through there in third. In fact, this was a couple of years ago. I think I can go through there in third. Turn 3. End of the rumble strips turning. River, it's wet. Third gear, just a little bit of brake as you're going uphill pretty substantially. Tabletop, avoid it. Just use those first set of rumble strips. Downhill 6, high speed 3rd gear. Get all the way out left. As soon as the car settles on the brakes down to 2nd, really get that inside. That's a little bit better on the back straight. Pretty simple track to kind of know where you are. And honestly, the nuance in this one to me is the blind corners, getting a feel for turning points, things like that. And just, man, it is unforgiving. Thinking I like pancakes. What am I going to have for dinner? Downhill and very slippery in the wet. Every bit of both inside apexes. Yep. Almost into the dirt. Use that yellow square just outside of it and just see how much turn is in there. Not a lot, but it doesn't change a lot either. So if you get that set, man, after 20, 30 laps, you'll have it where you're comfortable going under the bridge. Trust me, the first time is going to be holy shit. Better. Still neat. I can take a little bit more of that inside rumble strip. Oh, I meant to let me do that one more time. Top of the hill, turn 3 can be confusing because as you crest right here, again, turn-in point right at the end of the rumble strips, but right over the crest, there's another piece that kind of goes out here that's the motorcycle track. See it? So people can get confused. Not sure why I went to 2nd there. No real need for it. Maybe just get a little bit better launch, catch those guys in front of me, but I think it slows you down, really. Road Atlanta is where I did try 5th gear in the Rocket and just stagnated. It wouldn't accelerate, it wouldn't do anything. This guy in the Capri was a nut. We were having a great time. I think I waved to him or flipped him off or something all in gesture. 3 wide, 4 wide, easy on the back straightaway. Oh, that's what, yeah, come on, car. Always waiting for a piston to come shooting through the hood on the back straightaway here. Downhill, wound out in 4th. I go straight to 2nd. Try to use some of that right side. Those are fairly smooth. These inside ones are rough, but it doesn't matter. The car's unloaded. And again on exit, fairly smooth. Looking for the yellow block. A little bit of turn in. You know you get it right when you barely have to touch the wheel. I try to avoid those outside ones on the downhill though. Just kiss them. And there's checkered flag. So there you go. 2 laps around Road Atlanta. It's going to be cold. Hopefully it's not wet. But it doesn't have the sealer, so the times I've been there in the wet, it wasn't horrible to drive except through the bottom of the S's, and that's where you just kind of pick a good line, hold the car straight, let it shoot through the river as it hydroplanes, and then pick up the grip on the other side. That is all.